Deep, deep in the hearts of Africa, in the noisy village of Nkosi, the king and queen welcomed their first daughter, Nyameche. She was the most beautiful child in the land, with long brown hair, golden eyes, and a mysterious tattoo behind her ears. The tattoo was a sign that she was gifted to them by the gods of Nkosi. The kingdom plunged into a celebration at the announcement that the queen had bore a beautiful heir to the golden stool of Nkosi. I am pretty sure she had one of her maids birth that child. I told you Essie was barren even before the king chose her as a queen. Nancy, who was the queen's friend, said to Akusia. Akusia watched her friend with a side eye. She had always known of the envy Nancy harbored in her heart for their friend Essie, who was now the queen. Akos said to Nancy, "We visited Essie in the palace together when she was pregnant," she said, pointing between Nancy and herself. "We saw how heavy she was with her pregnancy and big nose. How can you make such an utterance?" Akosia hurried off with a pot of water, leaving the jealous Nancy behind. Nancy sat in the silence of her heart, devising a plan to kidnap and dump the newborn baby in the forest. The hatred she had for her friend grew big and bigger each and every day. Essie welcomed her three friends, Nancy, Akos, and Uche, into the palace with great joy abundant in her heart. Akos and Uche danced in unity, overjoyed at the birth of their best friend's baby girl, the princess of Nkosi. Nancy stood aside with a forced smile and fake happiness. Her heart was full of evil. Akos said to Essie, "Bless the gods for giving you a baby after so many years of tears. This is our gift as friends. We will return with more gifts at the traditional naming ceremony." Essie, who was grateful to her friends, said with a smile, "You didn't have to, my friends, but may the gods reimburse you with more than you've spent." The three friends left to return to their various homes. At the entrance of the palace, Nancy said, "Oh, I forgot my purse at the queen's chamber. Head home. I will meet you there." Nancy's evil plan was in motion as she entered into Essie's chambers. She was in the bathhouse while the little princess slept silently in her crib. She picked up the baby and covered her with the oversized cloth she came with, dashing out of the palace without anyone noticing her. Nancy ran fast as far as her legs could carry her, deep and deeper into the woods at the outskirts of the village. She left the princess on a wooden structure. Thunder descended the next day with the palace guards moving from hut to hut, searching for any trace of the little princess. The message spread wide like fire of the missing princess, with one old lady saying, "Oh, such a poor soul. Who would do such a devious thing to a baby, taking her away from her parents?" Nancy stood amongst the people gathered at the town square with a triumphant smile and a brow raised, saying in her head, "Essie, I will make you suffer for being chosen over me." I should have married the king, not you. Nancy's happy face drew the attention of Akosia, who stood beside her with a sad face. She knew Nancy had something to do with the missing baby, but without evidence, she kept quiet throughout. Days turned to weeks and weeks turned to months. The queen still mourning the disappearance of her baby girl, Nyamiche. Nyamiche indeed, meaning gift of God. Essie sobbed day and night and ate little to no food. The king was worried about the health of his wife. One day, the king said to his messengers in the palace, "Go to the surrounding villages near Nkosi and far. Send messages to these villages on a missing child with a crown tattoo behind their ears. Whoever finds my child, the princess of Nkosi, whatever their heart desires, so I, the king of Nkosi, shall do to them." The messengers left with their messages, each one to one village after the other, until they got to Ussa, the small village with great farmers. Anani and Abasa, returning from farm one morning, came across a crowd of Ussa natives with a messenger who said, "He or she who finds a child with a crown behind her ear will be gifted whatever their hearts desired." Anani and Abasa, who were elderly couples, looked at each other with recognition and fear. The baby they saw being left at the outskirts of Ussa was the crown princess. The elderly couple returned home with great sorrow in their hearts. They were never blessed with a child in their prime and all through their marriage. After they saw this little angel being left out in the cold night, they thanked the gods. Abasa spoke first. "What do we do, my husband?" She had come to love the little girl as her own. 6 months of love and nurturing. She couldn't bring herself to give her up. "Get ready. We will leave for Nkosi tomorrow morning. I know we did not have children of our own, but these few months was to experience the life of having a child. It's time for the baby to go back to their rightful parent. Our work here is done, Abasa," Anani said to his wife as they went about their daily activities, waiting for the next day. Journey from Ussa to Nkosi took hours. The elderly couple, through thick and thin, arrived at the entrance of the palace, with Abasa holding Nyamiche in her arms. The palace was quiet with so much sorrow as the elderly couple was shown to the king's court. "Long live the king," Anani stated. "My name is Anani, from the kingdom of Ussa, and that is my wife, Abasa," he said, pointing to his wife. 6 months ago, in the month of June 30th, evening, my wife and I were returning from Aseda, a village close to Ussa, when we saw a young lady drop something in a cloth on a small shed at the outskirts of Ussa and ran away. Getting close, we realized it was this beautiful baby girl. And since my wife and I had never been parents since our marriage commenced, we decided to be parents to this beautiful baby. Until yesterday, your message was delivered to our village. So here we are." The king, on hearing this, immediately rushed to the sleeping Nyamiche as he checked behind her ears. There the beautiful crown tattoo sat. The king sat on the floor and cried like a baby. months of tears and frustration running down his cheeks. His wife, who was still in her sorrow mood, heard her husband scream, but ignored him until he barged into her chambers with Anani and Abasa. Essie, who was being comforted by her friends Nancy, Akos, and Uche, ignored her husband. The king held in his arms his daughter, still shedding tears from the pain his wife had been through. Essie, on seeing the baby, quickly sat up on her bed. Looking at the baby in her husband's arms, she could feel the bond again, that of a mother and a daughter. Holding her mouth, she asked, "Is that?" The king nodded in understanding. The queen hugged the now crying Nyameche. Her crown tattoo sat comfortably behind her earlobe. Akos and Uche jubilated and danced around in the chamber of the queen. Nancy stood silently with the thirst and anger all over her face, drawing the attention of Anani. "I know you," he said, pointing at Nancy. "You were the lady who left Nyameche on the shed." Abasa chipped in recognition. "Yes, I remember your face." Nancy, realizing she had been caught, tried to run out of the room, but was captured by the guards at the entrance. Essie, who was in tears, asked the burning question on everyone's mind. "Why would you do that to me, Nancy? I thought we were friends," she said, sobbing. "Friends, you say? You took the king from me. We were all supposed to compete, but you used your stupid charm to take him away from me. I should have been the queen, not you. I have never been your friend. I have always hated you," Nancy said, screaming at Essie as she was being dragged away by the palace guards. The king and queen reunited with their beautiful baby girl, as peace, stability, and balance returned to the palace with baby Nyameche.